Greetings, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, All That Is. I'm so pleased to welcome Melissa Brace back to the show. Melissa was with us last week for a very exciting one-on-one show where we did psychic medium readings and questions that came in through the chat. So it was a really exciting show, and if you did miss it, please check out the replay in the links below in the description. Welcome back, Melissa, to the show. It's so great to have you once again.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. This is going to be so much fun.
Awesome. Yeah, so to everybody in the chat, we haven't had, oh yeah, we do have a couple of people already signed in. So welcome, everybody from
Hi,
Oklahoma.
everybody.
Yay. So thank you. Yes, so we will be doing live questions and answers again as we move through the show. So as we get your question, we'll ask Melissa to tune in and psychically read whatever your question is. But we'll be chatting in the meantime. We've got a few things that we want to talk about. So as we move through this, we'll of course be addressing your questions and answers. And I do apologize if I missed anybody on the show. It was not on purpose. I told Melissa that as I was shutting down, I saw one person say, "Oh, you missed my question." I do apologize. It was totally not on purpose. And I looked back on the chat. I did not see the question. So please do ask your question again if you have tuned in. And once again, thank you for being here. So Melissa, you and I have talked about many different subjects over the course of, however long we know each other. And Yeshua ben Joseph, keeps coming up as a common denominator, if you will, in your life and mine. And so we thought we'll talk a little bit about this ascended master and how this being has impacted both of our lives. As you know, I have written a book with this being, but I'm curious to know how this energy has impacted your life and how you became familiar with the name or the term Yeshua and how that manifests in your life.
Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I grew up in the Midwest, and we had a really beautiful background of learning about Christed things, and so I just always just felt like I had a friend in Jesus.
Yeah.
And over the many years, I have had a billion conversations like, "Hey, I don't know what to do. Will you sit with me? Will you hold me? Will you help me?" And so Yeshua, Jesus, has been my main connection to anything. And I often don't talk about it very much. Just because there's so much controversy about the perception and the belief systems and things like that. But to me, it's me and Yeshua, BFFs. And so sometimes I even just chat like, listen, I can't take it anymore. What can we do? And I'm all grumpy in my own self instead of being just, just fancy and, like I would be in the middle of a church. And about a year ago, lady, I went for a little healing because I live in Sedona, Arizona, where there are the best of the best healers and psychics and from all over the world. And I had a friend visiting, and she went and got a massage. I said, "Let me do an energy healing because I haven't done that for a long time." And the lady said, "Hey, do you remember walking with Jesus? You have a thing about Jesus, don't you? Yeshua." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I don't remember being there in his lifetime incarnation, but maybe, who knows? Yeah, we're close. We got this." And she asked a couple of questions, and it made me giggle a little bit because I don't think anyone's really ever asked me that too much. And it just, over the last years where we realized, Yeshua, Jesus, the formal name is okay, and the true Jesus or Yeshua will has always been with us, always.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
teaching me about Christed things and holding my hand.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really great. My path unfortunately hasn't been as precise as yours. Like I grew up in a very convoluted sort of religious background, if you will. So for me, it was more of just separating out that authenticity, if you will, within my body, because I never felt in tune with what I was being shown and in the church. I was baptized at birth Protestant, and then when my mom and dad split, about when I was 14 years old, my mom got us baptized in the Catholic Church. And so I went through the motions, of being baptized and all of that, but I never felt that connection to God or to Yeshua or any of those um, energies, if you will, or those idols that they worship in the church. And so it continued on through my 20s, where I was, looking and exploring and trying to figure out what and who this God is, right? And so I went into Buddhism. I read about Buddhism. I read many books, and I explored Christianity once again when I moved to Vancouver. Went to church, listened to the music, listened to the masses, and all of it. But I never really felt that anchoring, if you will. And then after I went and lived on Salt Spring Island for 2 years as a yogi and deepened my yoga and meditation practice, it was at that time that, I started to engage more and more with the energy part of my body, and it started to very somatically engage with me. And that's how I started to connect with these higher dimensional beings. But for me, it was like, I think a little bit of my story. I was thrown in the deep end. I first came in contact with very dark energies. And so Yeshua and his entourage, I like to call them the entourage because he's got an entourage with him. So they were responsible for saving me from these very dark energies. And so that journey began in that way, me rediscovering this being known as Yeshua. But since I found out about this being through my own experience, it was again, it was a feeling of almost like disbelief. It's like, and questioning. I was questioning it. I was like, how do I trust you? How do I know it's you? Like, can you clarify why it is that you are coming to me now as this energy and claiming to be Jesus or Yeshua? So for me, it was a big struggle. Like, I had to come to terms with my own belief systems and come to terms and understanding of what this energy meant in its present form. So it took me a good year to figure out all of these things and separate my own belief systems and finally get in tune with what this energy meant. And throughout it all, it was a very respectful, it was a very sacred, it was a very grounding experience. Every time I had doubts, I would be shown the way in such precision, in such clarity of where it is I had to go and what it is I had to do next. And never in my wildest dreams would I have been exposed to all of the things that I was being shown, the wisdom that I was being introduced to. The best way to describe that, because it was all coming to me telepathically, and it was like a download. They call it a download now, right? And so never in my wildest dreams would I have ever acquired any of this knowledge. It was coming out of nowhere, literally. It was like, yesterday I didn't know this, but today I know this, and I didn't read a book overnight. So it was all in that gnosis. I was learning the about this being and its life as a light being, and its past as well as a physical being known as Jesus in that, incarnation 2000 years ago. And so we developed this rapport, and it was like a daily conversation. And of course, when you first get introduced to something like this, you have 100 questions. So it's like, I'm bombarding this being with questions. How do you do this? What do you do this? How is this? Who is this? Like all of those questions. And it was all answered with precision, with clarity, and, with the background of what my question meant. And so it was a huge learning curve for me. Like, it was like learning an entire life's worth of, wisdom within those few months or, initial months that I got introduced to this being. And then it slowly developed that we were to write a book together. And this was actually foretold by someone like you, a psychic reader, when I first came to Vancouver. So this was like backtracking 10 years ago. And she told me, she said, when are you going to write your book? I'm like, what book? And, at that time, I was like, not even had the faintest idea that I would ever write anything, leave alone a book. So she was like, you're going to write a book. And she even gave me the title of the book. And I was like, wow, really? And at that point, I was very deep in my 3D matrix life, my 9 to 5 job. And I was like, I'm going to write about angels. And the book was called The Voice of an Angel, and I was like, laughing at myself. Yeah, sure, why not? So I just brushed it off. But then when I had this interaction with Yeshua, he was like, yes, that's the book. We are going to write A Voice of an Angel together. And so it was an incredible journey, just going down this path with him and hearing the story. Like that entire book was written from his perspective, in his voice and his experience, not only as a physical being, but as a light being, as an initiate, like right from the get-go of his birthing as a light being till today, what his role is with Mary Magdalene and them as a partnership, So it's truly a beautiful book, and it's very, very close to my heart. So yeah, that's been, in a nutshell, my exposure to Yeshua ben Joseph, or Jesus as we know this being.
That's amazing. And I mean, I could never speak for anybody else, much less the entire population. But all of us who have been um, in connection with him, and just I always call it chasing God throughout my life. And by the way, they have also, meaning Yeshua, has had to pretty much save me from the darkness a few times, or sliding down the mountain myself many times, and learning, and that's really cool. I bet you every single human being, even in their true connection with him, have had a moment or two.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So when you asked, when you said, like, is this real? Can I trust this? Am I safe? Am I doing the right thing? What did you ask him? How did you say, prove it? Because sometimes that's in my work. I will say, prove it, show me your heart right now. And it's a little bit, it makes me sound a little bit like I'm sassy, or know everything, but I do not. But sometimes I'll make them, if I can't feel it fully, make them. And I've asked him several times when I was scared and not sure, and please show me your heart and tell me the truth.
Yeah.
What did you do?
It came through on many different levels. Like I felt it in my body. I felt like that tingling, that energy in my body. And he would say, I'm going to help you connect to your higher self energy. And so, he would very precisely show me how I was connecting to my higher self. And so, when you feel it in your body, it's like that's such a, a precise somatic feeling, right? And so in a way, it was like a fine tuning that he was doing within my body, and I could feel all of it. Like whatever he was telling me was happening, it was happening in my body. And even after the attacks, like these energies physically attacked me, like the Draco energies physically attacked me. So he and his group of beings, like his entourage, like I said, they physically healed me from that experience. So it was like very somatic for me. Like I would have perhaps a very severe headache, and I would feel them coming in and clearing that energy within my body, and I would feel the headache go instantly. So it was like, many different things like this, and also the dissemination of wisdom. I would ask a question, and it would be answered right away in the most precise way, and I would get the entire history of what happened, how it happened, and like who else could tell that story better than him, and I would ask like very personal questions, about him and Mary, or about what it was that happened to him during this time on earth, or something like that. So it was a combination of feeling it within my body. It was a combination of just gnosis of that, when you hear the truth, your hair stands on end, right? It's like I kept having those feelings all the time, so it was a very somatic feeling for me when I asked those questions. And I would always get confirmation from my higher self that this was an accurate connection. So yeah, that was to me a verification that this was what was happening.
That's beautiful. And I like it when you said he would describe what he was helping you do to like be in pure alignment, or what I like to call divine order,
Mm-hmm.
and tuning. It's almost like tuning you up. And
Yeah.
they many times have done that to me or other people I was working with if I was doing some kind of teaching. And they would describe it in detail, like we're not ever going to come in your energy field and touch you or do anything to you, but there's it's almost like tuning up. And that's where I came up with my partially where I came up with my business um, soul song,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes there are just pieces in us that just need a little tuning,
Yeah.
and then we are in alignment with Yeshua, or
Yeah.
the divine. I love that for you. That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, he also, in a way, opened my eyes, if you will, to the interdimensional connection that I have with these other beings as well. Um, so, in a way, my guides changed hands after I connected with Yeshua and after that
Yeah.
incident with the dark side, if you will. Um, I was introduced to my soul family. And so that group, if you will, one of them came forward and said, I will be your primary guide from now on. And so that being stepped forward as my primary guide. And along with that, probably maybe a month or so later, the Palladian and the Arcturian stepped in as well
Mhm.
as secondary guides. And so they are now called the Collective of Three, and we wrote that book together called Progressing to the Fifth Dimension. All that is Progressing to the Fifth Dimension, which turned out to be my first book, even though Yeshua contacted me in the beginning and we started writing. But then I took a break from that and we continued Yeshua's book after I had published All That is Progressing to the Fifth Dimension. And so these other beings came in, and it was like a layered sort of build up, if you will, of exploring my own energy in terms of how I related to these other dimensions. And while all of that was happening, they were like giving me all of this information about my past lives and how, um, what my soul journey has been like. And again, it was like confirmation after confirmation and what I was sensing within my own being, but didn't know how to express it, right? And so, in a way, I've lived many hundreds of lifetimes here upon this earth plane, right? But it has been as, in a way, in a sort of a prisoner sort of situation. I haven't been able to ascend out of this reality. Um, and so it goes back to that energy of Brahma, right? So I keep going back to this energy, calling myself the seed of Brahma. And so it goes back to those Draco wars, initial wars, and how that energy from the 12th dimension first came here to teach in India. Like you might look back to all that time ago, when they have the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita, and they all refer to these sages that came to India. So it's my soul goes back to those times, when these higher dimensional beings descended in order to teach the collective at that time about interdimensional connection and the
Mhm.
reality of the higher self and all of those good things, right? And so it was during that time that the Draco invasion happened. And so this being got trapped here. And so my energy is a way, um, that seed, if you will. And so I call myself a seed of Brahma because during these last 10 years, that trapped energy got realigned back to the light, to the 12th dimension. And so in a way, my energy, my seed has remained here within this body, but the larger energy, if you will, that was the original Brahma energy, has now ascended. So it's been fascinating, to say the least. Like all of these big things have happened in the last 10 years, and it's hard to encapsulate all of it in, perhaps a 1 hour interview like this. So, but yeah, it's really been so fascinating to have to go through all of these things, but at the same time, um, be able to remember in a way, that you are part of this larger experience and you are here for a reason at this time. and to be a witness, right, to this unfolding new earth, right, and the ascension. So it's really, really fascinating.
Absolutely. And you said I have some similarities with getting stuck here myself, and in similar ways of learning, and even though I get a little bit throw some fits, my little soul self does sometimes and shuts down and gets mad. Um, but the um, I guess all of us have been there in those shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
um, that multidimensional omniverse connection and being able to tune into the different densities and things like that is an amazing thing. That's somehow our divine right.
Yeah, absolutely. And not everybody sort of tunes into that or is aware of it, that we are these powerful multidimensional beings. We have been suppressed for so long. It's like
Yeah,
we've become, by default, we feel that we are normal in this state, in this suppressed state. So yeah, that's been my joy in a way, to help people realize their true identity, their true sovereignty, and awaken from that darkness, from that slumber, if you will, to embrace that multidimensionality of themselves. And I've had clients that have been introduced to their soul family, much like I have, or have been introduced to interdimensional guides that want to come and help them, guide them along the way. So there have been Arcturians, there have been Palladians, there have been all kinds of these ascended masters that have come in and said, "Sure, I'm here to help," and it's like them applying for a job. It's like they
yeah,
have the skills, and they're just waiting in the sidelines to help us, and all we have to do is ask, because they will not impose on our free will, right? So we have to. It's like shaking hands with somebody, right? You have to take that step forward and say, "Here I am. This is what I need. Are you wanting to step forward?" And so you
mhm.
energetically shaking hands with the energies from the other dimension and saying, "I could use some help in whatever way that you see that you need help with." Let's
Yeah,
switch
that's funny.
gears, Melissa. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, I have a couple over the years, and I would go forward slowly, and because the different dimensional beings feel different.
Mm-hmm.
Lots, and so I had Syrian and Pleiadian and Arcturian as well.
Yeah.
And there was one that would teach me. He would come teach me, and I would go, "Are you sure?" Like, okay?" And I would test him over and over, and I would say, "I'm really sorry. I just want to make sure I'm not, a little bit crazy." And he would teach me how to do the cleansing and clearing and in big, big, big ways for
Mm-hmm.
many years. So and his name is Gordon,
Yeah.
which is
They don't
cool.
like names, do they? They don't,
No,
it's more like an energy frequency or a signature. Yeah. It was hard for my guides too. Like, I don't disclose the names that I refer to them as, but they don't necessarily like labels like that. So it's very interesting. Okay, let's
true.
shift gears slightly, but we'll definitely come back to this. I just want to acknowledge everybody in the chat. It looks like there's a lot of folks from Oklahoma here. So let's see, we've got Vintage Sweet Pea from Oklahoma. Who else is here from Oklahoma? Katrina Boyer 419. Marcy Hopkins, also from Oklahoma. Do you recognize any of these names?
Uh-huh, I do.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for being here. This is truly awesome. I do have a question, Melissa, from Callie 09H. She says, he or she, "Hello, Melissa and Raquel. I'm a new viewer. May I ask about what you think, what you might pick up around me and my spiritual gifts purpose coming up?"
Cool.
Callie, Khalli09H. Oh, her name is Angel. Thank you, she says.
Um, sorry, I just got tripped a little bit.
Do you want me to read the question again?
Yeah, spiritual gifts and purposes,
So
direction.
Angel is asking, may I ask about what you might pick up around me and my spiritual gifts or purpose coming up?
Um, I what I'm feeling for you and for everyone else too is that there's going to be some inspiration, some sparks of passion as we move through these big densities that we've been going through as all of humanity. And there's laughter involved, laughter and colors and tones. So whatever you want, whatever your direction is, whatever you're drawn to, ask. Just like Racquel just said earlier, like, there's the divine is waiting for us to ask and then open our eyes to receive. And I'm feeling like fun, laughter. And if you feel like you're here to help people, do that. It's something about nourishment and making things right, like balancing things, making it right. And it feels like goodness and laughter and safety and in those areas. So do you have one guide that's leaning in, that's allowing me to see them, and they're saying it's going to be all right. And do you travel in energy wise, like you travel in the dimensions already? Because that's going to be part of the next unfolding for you.
Angel, that question is for you. Hopefully you can send us a message in the chat. In the meantime, we have...
Beautiful angels around. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm getting that impression as well. It's like reach for that connection, whatever it is you're feeling, tune into your heart, tune into that energy of the heart. Because for me, the heart is the spark or the connection to the creator. And so tuning into your heart, and I don't mean your physical heart, but your heart chakra in the middle of your chest, right? So tune into your heart, breathe deeply, connect visually to that energy. If you can imagine it like a spark of light or like a candle, and just connect and meditate on that spot. And you will actually feel it, physically feel it. If you just move your finger down the center part of your channel, you'll feel a little bump in the middle of your chest. It'll be like a little tender spot. That is
Mm-hmm.
your heart center and your connection to the creator. So focus on that area and just tune in, meditate, and ask for that higher self connection to the creator. And once you reach that connection, once you know precisely that you have connected with your higher self, then it's like all of these energies just open up. It's like a doorway opening up, it's like the veils open up. And so you're able to then speak precisely, clearly to your higher self, to the creator. And that is the most direct connection you can ever have, no guides, no whatever in the way, you're speaking one-on-one with the creator. So that's the most direct connection that you can have.
I agree.
Okay, we do have an answer. She says, okay, I resonate very much with a lot of that. Thank you, Melissa, especially nourishment, joy, and those energies. Do you mean astral traveling or shamanic journey?
I'm not sure. It's almost like teleportation, teleporting, telepathy all at once. Like it's multi-dimensional movement. And it's almost like natural, like all of your higher selves together, natural movement. So it just feels like you have a lot to share through this vessel here in the physical,
Mm-hmm.
of those layers or parts of yourself too. And it's beautiful. It's like musical and nourishing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not really sure what the correct word would be right now, but yeah, I'm almost asking, like, how can she help? What can help? And they're saying there's going to be like a new tune up or tune in or transmission for her
Mhm, mhm.
to it's almost like her new mission papers are going to
Yeah,
be extended, expanded, and it's going to feel really good
excellent.
and be enjoyable instead of the tough, heavy stuff that all of us are
Yeah,
integrating and moving through. That's
yeah,
so cool.
yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Super blessings. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel, for that question. The next person is Gary for Grace 911.
Hey,
Please,
Gary.
any message for me? Thank you. Thank you for your question, Gary. So I've got
Um,
Gary, the number 4, Grace 911.
um, I'm almost feeling like a divine feminine, divine mother energies, like Sophia energy, coding in that you are loved and held and on the right track. So you got another guide coming in too. That's funny, like motherly, and then another one. Um, yeah, I don't know what specific thing you want to know about, but it feels funny and fun, and and real nurturing, almost like the any worry that you've had is going to be realigned back into receiving. Am I making sense? So,
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think that's
feels like
that's the
oh,
commonality, I think. Even you and me were talking about that before we got on, right? It's about realigning, reestablishing our connection with that higher energy. It's like we're going back and forth to all of those past lifetimes, correcting, realigning into that zero field or 0 point energy field, if you will, right? And our body is like a pendulum, if you think about it. It's like direct connection to the creator, right? So it's like when we move left or right, it's like we're correcting all of that, and we go back and forth and
mhm,
we're correcting all of that, forward, backward, left, right, back and forth, whatever direction we're going into, we are in a way clearing up all of that garbage, if you will, all of that residual energy that was not in alignment. And so in a way that is sitting in our body, in our DNA. And so we feel it, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, whatever the energy is, it comes up in that way. For it to come to the surface, we feel it that way, we experience it that way. And so like I was telling you earlier, I had a nightmare the other day, which was a replica of something that I had felt in my childhood. And so in a way that wasn't aligned, and so that came up for alignment and readjustment, if you will. And so things like that happen. And so perhaps Gary is experiencing that as well, just going back to some old residual energies, and that's coming up or surfacing for healing. So Gary, if you're experiencing something like that, and like Melissa said, do it in a joyful way. That's the only way you can align these energies and be in in
and
in a
receive.
in a
And I'm
pleasant.
feeling like a big, truly like a divine, unconditional.
Oh, we have a guide with us. Hi.
Because I love her. This is my divine healer right here.
Oh, so cute.
Um, and for Gary, it feels like it's so unconditional, no longer separate. So it's almost feels like many layers for Gary will feel trustworthy and loving and out of that conditional programming or the heaviness that and I feel like many of the people here that we are talking to are really doing some big heavy cleanup work for
Mhm.
this world and the collective consciousness. So thank you. It
Yeah,
just almost feels like motherly love, that what we had been missing, what it felt like
yeah,
was gone for so
yeah,
long,
absolutely.
coming in. So maybe he gets to bring that um, to other people, safety,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
and unconditional love, a little bit of hugs.
absolutely. Thank you. That's so beautiful. And I think, coming from a masculine perspective, I think the masculine energy has taken a hit on many different levels. So, there's a lot of misunderstanding, judgment, all those sort of energies. It's very heavy energy, right? from the masculine perspective. And so there is that energy of feeling suppressed on many levels. And so it's like gently in, with that motherly love that you just talked about, very softly allowing your heart to soften, allowing that energy to be rebirthed in a way into that new, precise Christed consciousness, like Yeshua talks about, right? So bringing that
Mm-hmm.
motherly energy into that experience and softening your heart, because being a man, you feel like, oh, I've got the power and, I've got the strength, but no, it's not always that, Yes, there are reasons and there are circumstances when you need to be strong and when you need to be powerful. But in dealing with these situations, you need to soften your heart. You need to allow for forgiveness. You need to align your energies into that motherly love, if you will, right? And embrace your heart. So yeah, that's totally beautiful. Thank you,
It almost
Gary.
feels like a beautiful like union inside for
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
where it doesn't feel so isolated alone. I think all of us who, or whatever words we're using, the star seeds, the earth angels, the light workers, the have had some times where we're just kind of alone, not
yeah,
lonely, but alone.
alone. Yeah,
And I feel like a trust this to connection,
yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
quite beautiful
Yeah.
union.
Gary says my face is warm. That's probably the embrace of the mother. It's beautiful.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Gary.
much, Gary, for your question. I have another from Marcy Hopkins, 9179. Are there any messages for me? Marcy Hopkins, 9179.
Um, there's also a mother energy and a dog. Is your mom alive? Parents. Sassy. And are there any specifics on that? But there are parents here.
Okay, let's wait and see. I haven't had any other responses from Marcy Hopkins.
And a dog.
And a dog.
I love that. The animals just are part
She
of
says
us.
yes. Yeah, she says yes.
Um, I'm feeling like real, almost like different branches coming together with these beautiful loved ones that um, love you very much. And no matter what happened, they are there. They walk with you.
She
And
says, I know who that is.
okay, good. And it feels like there's they're showing this big divine blueprint for you and yours. How's that? Um, unfolding in a way that you'll be surprised about, like new open doors, and you'll feel them, the loved ones and the dog, and just walk with you and smile with you and feel comfortable, comfortable, and you deserve it.
She says,
Um,
my mom is alive. I have one dog there.
you have a grandmother then that was um, kind of sassy a little bit, or family friend, or cousin, or something, because I feel like this was a female energy and parents. Real proud of you. New answers and solutions coming in too, just right for you and yours. And hello to everybody from the family. It's harder to do specific things when it's not, when they don't have a voice back and saying just like, what message is it?
Yeah,
Because this feels really good. It feels like connection. So
yeah.
like touching our fingertips and connecting, and it just feels also, maybe there's a theme this week, and maybe all of us need it after all of the things that are going on
Yeah.
out in the outer world. With that, a little bit of nurturing, a little bit of laughter, a little bit of motherly love. So I love this, and a little bit of hugs.
Yeah.
It feels like surprising goodness coming up for you, your family, your choices, your directions.
She says yes,
Congratulations.
and a young lady.
Exciting. And I want to
Awesome.
say congratulations. I don't even know what for, but congratulations.
Yeah,
And
just tune in,
for
Marcy, as Melissa's talking, just tune into your heart and those messages will become clear.
you're on track. They're really proud of you. You're doing everything all right. And when I say all right, I mean really well.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcy, for your question. Thank you for being here. We
Thank you.
have a question from Lori Chavez 2073. She says, could either or both of you give help on meditation? My mind just won't be still. And there is a second question. Do you have any messages for me? Um, so, Laurie, in terms of meditation, if you tune into my YouTube channel, if you wish for something just to get started, there's a ton of meditation videos on my channel here on this YouTube channel. So I'm happy to do a one-on-one with you if you want to sign up for a session and we can go through a meditation together. But if you just want to do something quick and just learn about meditation, there's a lot of them on my channel, so feel free to tune in. But as an immediate lesson, if you will, like I said earlier, tuning into your heart chakra is the best way, the most precise way into quietening your mind. And when you tune in, just imagining that soul spark, that light, if you will, within your heart chakra, and then just concentrate on your breath, breathing in and out, the quality of your breath. Just concentrate on that, and everything will just fall away. All of those thoughts, all of those intrusions will just fall away. It's a practice. I know it's hard for people that have not meditated before, but as a beginning, just start with your breath, focusing on the in and out breath. And if you have any thoughts coming in, just imagine them as clouds, just floating away, floating away. Don't attach to them. Whatever the emotion is or whatever the thought is, just let it go. Don't give it attention, because when we give it attention, it sticks, it stays, and then it multiplies into all of these tentacles of, I have to go to the market and I have to buy this and I have to buy that, and then it just multiplies from there. So let that thought go, just let it float away and bring your attention back to your breath, in and out, in and out. That's it. It's very simple.
Me too. And everybody everywhere, I'm sure, has had moments where it's really hard to stay in that space. And so I also always I ask the breath of God, source creator, to move through me and hold me in that meditative state. And God knows I was kind of born sort of halfway in it. It's 1 foot in and 1 foot in earth. Um, so sometimes I make it sound easy. Um, but it's true. We can ask for all of us that anything that is heavy or blocking us or loops in our minds, that we ask that the divine universe please pull that away and hold us in our meditative states. So sometimes they're hard. So I think there's a whole lot of cool ways to meditate and have, like, sometimes the frequencies on or the different things. But I agree. And
Mhm.
sometimes when I can't stop overthinking, I hold my heart and ask for the breath of God, source creator, to
Mhm.
hold me there.
Yeah,
And you're right. And everything just starts dissipating.
yeah,
And sometimes it'll just almost like be in waves or pulse. I always
yeah,
say the pulse.
yeah. And if you need to be grounded, like I always have something like that in my hand. I have a crystal in my hand just to keep me grounded. So if you feel like you need to hold on to something physical, then, it's all, a crystal is always good. It's beautiful.
Me too. This is the one
Yeah,
I'm using. And it helps me ground a little bit and stay on
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
because
So
I
crystals
do
help
tend to be
you.
a little scattery
Yeah.
sometimes.
And you can program crystals, like you can go and buy a crystal and then just clear it in some salt water and then program it and say, help me concentrate, help me with my meditation, help me to gain clarity, to gain stillness in my meditation. And that will definitely help you. So the clear quartz or the rose quartz are usually good for grounding and for calmness and meditation. So try it out.
Purity.
Yeah.
Huh. I also do. I charge some of the crystals in that pure Christed energy in the scalar and give them to people sometimes so that it just almost is just like a little bit of help, like charged
Yeah,
and programmed for that. And that helps me as well. Like I do that as
absolutely.
well. Same thing you just said.
Yeah, I think between the two of us, we've got many things that we can offer. Hey, Melissa, in terms of our services. So yes, folks, please check the description and get in touch with Melissa or myself. Whatever help you need, we can certainly tune into your energy and help with either a healing session or a psychic reading or charging crystals. Melissa's good at that, so definitely connect with us. Did you have any messages for Lori, Melissa?
I was
Lori
just going to say for
Chavez
Lori,
2073.
I'm feeling like a lot of strength. Everything's okay. You won't have to hold everything up as much all by yourself. Not that you do everything by yourself, but um, sometimes it feels like it. And there are healing waves coming for you. And I don't know what that means, but waves. And actually, like I am feeling like almost like a pulse of the divine universe of calmness and peace in that 0 point. Sometimes it's stillness, but sometimes I feel like a pulse. And that's where Lori's downloads and transmissions are going to come in and I think surprise her.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, I think Melissa, you're frozen.
And
Did
that
we
really
lose you?
was.
I think I lost you for a second there, but you're back. No, you're
I'm
back.
sorry
All
if our
good.
Wi-Fi is weird, wonky.
No worries. I think we got most of it.
Um, and there's a family member that wants to say that they'll show you unmistakable signs that they are there and they're really proud. The strength, you have strength, strong, and you don't have to do it all by yourself. Uh-oh, did we freeze again?
No, you're coming through. All right.
And abundance. It's okay to ask for abundance and goodness for yourself.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Lori, for your question. Um, Callie,
Thank
yes,
you, Lori.
Callie. I think a selenite works as well as a crystal. So just tune in, just tune into your heart, tune into your higher self, and ask what would be the best crystal. And sometimes when you go to a crystal shop, they tend to speak to you, right, Melissa? They want to come home with you.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's sometimes
Um,
they just say yes, me. I want to come home with you. We have a question from
yeah,
Katrina
every single
Boyer,
time.
419. Hi, Melissa and Racquel. I have a question. My spiritual gifts were stronger. Sorry.
Like,
Did you have something else to say? Oh,
no,
okay,
no,
no
no. I
worries.
just was waving. I'm
Okay,
sorry to
Katrina Boyer,
interrupt.
419. Hi, Melissa and Racquel. I have a question. My spiritual gifts were stronger when I was younger. Now that I am older, it seems to be very weak. I used to have a lot of dreams and now I don't. Why? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I think we probably both have some good answers on this. One of the things that I've noticed for most of us is that some of the distortion and and life kind of brings us blockages to those other densities and those other parts of ourselves. And Raquel was talking about it earlier, where she does lots of cleansing and clearing and transmuting and realigning. And I feel like you have wondrous gifts and abilities. connection with God, source, the creator, whatever word to use, and your guides and guardian angels, and it can come back in. All of us go through times where we feel like it's not as much, or why are we not dreaming as much? There are some of these earthly energies sometimes kind of overlay us and push us down a little bit until we realize how to come out of it. And you're going to be come in feeling more freedom to connect with your guides, your higher self, um, over the next weeks and months. And you're good at it. You got good shaman vibes, especially in this time period. It's something about especially now, like something that you've gone through, you've cleansed and cleared and worked on in your own self. Like, good job, because I feel like it's going to be crystal clear. And we can ask for unmistakable answers, signs, solutions come to you over the next days, weeks, and months from your higher self, from source. Is that okay?
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We'll wait and see if there's any response, but thank you for your question. We have another question from Sarah Kiespert, I think it is, Kiespert.
Hey,
Hi,
Sarah.
Melissa and Racquel. Any messages for me?
Um, it's not really fair because I know Sarah and I love Sarah. Um, yeah, you got a huge group with you. You got this almost like a team coming in, like a council team of higher self saying hello to all of you, your family, and particularly two cute young people um, are saying, "Yeah, go for it." I don't know what what they're talking about, but they're saying, "Yeah, go for it, mom." And they're saying, "Enjoy, allow yourself to enjoy." And congratulations, you're gonna have some really cool visitations or angelic stuff, and some of your purposes, missions, your truth. You get to just make it happen in the next days, weeks, and months. And your laughter, Sarah, I can hear your laughter in ringing with your loved ones, your beautiful loved ones, and guides and guardian angels, and your higher self, just giggling away. I love this for you. Say yes to the next steps. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah, for your question. Katrina, we're jumping back to Katrina Boyer 419. She says, thank you. Can you tell me about my guides?
Cool. Let's see. Me and you, Racquel.
I think when you talk about guides, it's a very personal thing, you know? So they may not necessarily want to step forward in this forum. The best thing I think is to, like I said earlier, you know, tune into your heart and just journal, you know, whatever comes through, like words, phrases, feelings, energy, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're sensing, you know, your guides are speaking to you, your higher self is speaking to you, you know, just receive, receive, receive. Just open your heart and say, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to speak to my guides now. Let me know that you are here. And just tune into that energy, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're sensing. You know, we have five senses, you know, you can hear it, you can see it, you can feel it, you can know it, you can feel the touch, whatever it is you're sensitive to, you will feel it. You will get those messages directly. So yeah, I think my answer to that would be it's a very personal thing. So just tune into your heart and allow for it to be received in a very organic way.
I agree. They don't always let me see them. That's like, it's allow me. It is very personal, and it's not really fair for me to think it would be my interpretation. There are two here that wave at you. Pardon me. Um, and I've got a lot of blue energy for you, so you'll notice and feel that true, pure energy of your guides very clearly coming up, and they're I'm going to let you know. But there's your main guide is just sort of letting me know, like, yeah, I'll answer. Like, we're here. We're always here. You are never alone. And make it interesting. Ask anything you want. You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to be, uptight about it. Ask, and they'll show you in fun, really beautiful ways that are just right for you and answer you in every way.
I'm getting that too. You'll be surprised by what you receive. It'll be something that you least expect. So yeah, be prepared for something very unusual and out of the world. So yeah, have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. And I always say this for decades. We expect to hear them maybe out loud sometimes, and it would
Yeah.
never come. We expect to hear them in certain ways or see them walk through the living room or in our dreams in different ways. And sometimes it just is, energetic, divine, pure light beings. It's hard. And it is, again, up to our interpretations, which is weird here in our physical brains and minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I always say, if you could hear them out loud, what would they sound like and what
Yeah.
would they say? If you could see them, what would they look like and what would they feel like? And I like to add, because I'm very dramatic about these things, add about like what colors and textures would you feel?
Mm-hmm.
What do they feel like? And you will get their kind of personality pieces, and it almost like opens the door, but not opens anything. It's just pure source energy between you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always fun. Like, well, if you're not getting anything for a while, which we've all been there,
Yeah.
what would it feel like, or what would they say? What do you think they would say? And even if you think you're making things up, um, I ask you to like text yourself or jot it down on a notebook and look at it later and go, I wasn't just a little bit
Yeah.
making that up, and
Yeah.
okay. And they will always answer you in kind of not like not big dramatic ways,
It's
but
very precise. Yeah.
clear, precise, succinct, simply truth.
Yeah. That has
And it'll
been my
be really fun.
experience too. Yeah. That's why I kept journaling. I journal like crazy. All of these experiences. It's like, however bizarre it sounds, it's like I journal it and I think, wow, I could have never in my wildest dreams come up with that. So just like that, it's like, but when you think about it, it's like it's coming through your body, it's coming through your own channeling, through your own being, right? So there's
Mhm.
nobody else but you and the divine right now speaking to each other. So there's an
And you
entire,
realize that you can receive it, you can
yeah.
hear it. It just might not be the way we thought it was going to come.
And that in itself is the blockage, isn't it? Like we
Yeah,
impose our impressions, our ideas upon ourselves, upon our own ideas. And so that in itself,
true.
it's a block, right? So we need to step aside. And the way I tell it to people when I'm doing a session is like, it's almost like you're standing behind yourself.
Yeah.
Step out of yourself and just watch what happens, and just allow for that energy to fill, to come through. And you'll be surprised by what you hear, what you receive, what you see, what you feel. Yeah, it's really quite beautiful. Thank you for
And
that,
you can
Melissa.
and you can feel it. You can feel it. It'll safe and beautiful and pure.
Yeah,
You can feel it.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. We have one question from Mr. JM4154. Is it possible for me to get a reading? Future events.
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes it would be so not everything is, carved in stone, and other people aren't allowed to access every single thing about you and just, tell you, because you don't need a guru. But yeah, we can look at your energies and we can see the highly likely possibilities of what's in line with your energies at this time, and your choices and decisions of highly likely. Yes.
Yeah, I would highly recommend connecting with Melissa and tune in, go for a session. That way it's more accurate and more potent, right? So yeah, absolutely. I think I've answered
Thank you.
I think I've answered all of the questions that came through. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody. Just going to flip through once more, but I think I was able to grab all of the questions. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you are enjoying this, please put a like on the video. This is definitely going to help my channel. And we will post this on Melissa's channel after the live completes. So if you are subscribed to Melissa's channel, please go over there and put a like and share the video. And, hopefully we can do this every Thursday. That's the plan. So do come back. We are hoping to have this as an ongoing Thursday tune up and tune in. So it's really fun. I really enjoy this. So I hope you all do too.
Thank you all so much for the love and support. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have any residual comments or anything you want to add, Melissa, to what we were talking about earlier about Yeshua and in general?
I hope we get to talk about him and with him and in maybe weeks or months to come when it's the right time. I'm feeling like a super amazing, clean, clear, just truth blessing for everybody, all of us, no matter what day it is, no matter if it's just the replay of our session or anything, just a real big alignment from that Christed, pure Christed energy that we've all been yearning for and working toward and looking for. And from Yeshua, it's almost like a warmth, like a hand on our shoulder, like we've got
I
this.
got you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, for people that don't know, I have live transmissions from Yeshua and Mary Magdalene quite often, so I post those on my channel, so you can tune in there. But before we started this meeting, this live transmission, Yeshua came in and he said, Racquel, I will be there. So he is now here and he would like to give us a live transmission. So the way I do it is I just close my eyes just for clarity in receiving that transmission. So let's see what comes through. I will be back momentarily.
Thank you, Racquel. Thank you, Yeshua. This is joyous and strong.
Greetings, everybody. This is Yeshua ben Joseph, the Son of God. I am so pleased to be here in this gathering of joyous people. It is so good to be here with you. I see you all individually. I see all of your hearts. I see all the love in your hearts. I see your depth. I see your beauty. And this makes me smile too. We are all here as individuals, as light beings, as physical beings. You are, in a way, initiates to become a light being once again. You have been a light being, and you are momentarily within a physical body, and you will return to be a light being once again. And so, just like me, 2000 of your years ago, when I was Jesus upon your earth plane, I have returned to the light, and I am now in my light body once again. That experience has taught me much, and I have, in a way, danced between these two worlds since my incarnation as Jesus and my being as Yeshua. I have, since my incarnation, attained a title, if you will, and this is the Son of God. And so now I introduce myself as Yeshua ben Joseph, the Son of God. Just much like you, when you receive a doctorate, you add a doctor before your name. So much like that, I have received a title from the Almighty or from the Creator after I completed my incarnation as Jesus. And so I attach that to my name as my introduction. But it does not mean that I am superior to you in any way. And I do not expect you to pray to me or to beg me for favors. I am just like you, another light being, another warrior, another light worker. So consider me a brother, and I am your brother, your sister as well. So we are all one in the eyes of God. So if you have any questions for me, I will receive it energetically because I know that Racquel's eyes are closed right now, so she cannot see the question. But I will dispense a few things that I feel in my heart that you wish to hear from me. And so it is with much love I come to you today and tell you to not be concerned about all of the hardships that are going through your world right now. There is a lot of unrest, whether it is politically, whether it is environmentally, or whether it is even in your family, whether it's a hardship within a job or any other circumstances within your life. As Racquel said earlier, tune into your heart, connect to the Creator. This is your path forward. You will gain insights and you will gain the knowledge as to what it is you need to do as the next steps forward. It will come to you in dreams. You will be given visual hints and nudges as to what it is you need to do going forward. If you do not perhaps acknowledge it, that message will keep repeating itself in forms that you cannot ignore anymore, like a number repeating itself. Wherever you look, you might see the number 11, 11, or 22 or 22. Those are divine messengers, if you will, in your physical realm. So stay tuned for all of these signs. They will come to you in whatever form is most precise and most accurate for you to receive in your heart through your higher self. So this is my blessing to you, my message to you today. Tune into your heart, connect to your higher self, and spend some time in the morning as you wake up, as this is the time when it is most precise, most clear, when your energy is connecting with those higher energies. So spend a few moments, whether it is a minute or whether it is an hour, connect with your higher self, and you will receive guidance. Much blessings to you and to all gathered here. Thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you, Racquel.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's very precise, isn't he?
Mhm.
Okay.
I could feel that with every cell of my being,
Yeah,
every molecule. Thank you.
you're welcome. Wow, I think that was it. No more questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that. Were there any closing questions or comments, Melissa?
Just say, thank you. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Awesome. I am too. Thank you for being here. And like I said, I will have Melissa's contact and my contact in the description below. So please reach out if you feel called to. This is our bread and butter, really. You know, we are here to help people out, but also survive in this reality, right? So yeah, you will be supporting us as well by connecting and using our services. So thank you everybody for being here. Namaste. It has truly been a joy to connect with you today. Thank you for all of your questions. We will connect with you again next Thursday, same time. Bye, Melissa.